everybody. It is NFL points, picks, and props. Tommy Burch joining me from Springfield, Massachusetts. Ben O'Connell, he's down there at the bottom of the screen. He is in Chicago, Illinois. I am Kyle Garlett in Denver, Colorado. It has now been 11 days since the Super Bowl. We're recording this on Thursday night, the 22nd. I sobered up earlier this morning. Quite a game. We wanted to talk about it a little bit earlier, but we had some illnesses amongst the team to take care of last week. We are here with you now, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, but we want to mostly talk about what lies ahead for the 2024 offseason. It's already started. I mean, right now, guys can get slapped with a franchise tag. We got the scouting combine starting next week. I mean, we're already in the 2024 season. Not officially, that doesn't start till March, but we're damn near there. Let's talk back at the Super Bowl here real quick. So the Chiefs, second time ever that the Super Bowl goes to overtime. Both times involved Kyle Shanahan. He is snake bit. I heard somebody say that he is in the Andy Reid portion of his career right now, where Andy Reid was getting to the Super Bowl but could not win. Now Andy Reid, of course, wins it all the time. So hopefully that is the trajectory for Kyle Shanahan, because I think we all like Kyle Shanahan. Although I will say, Tommy, and I want to get your take on this. So Steve Wilks, Shanahan says, we're not going to fire Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks is coming back. Then 2 days later, he fires him. Now, the 49ers defense, I thought, played really well. I mean, again, they held Mahomes to 19 points through 4 quarters, and it wasn't until they actually went into an overtime period where the Chiefs were able to break 20. But I'm not all that surprised, because it was clear that Shanahan and Wilks is not a Shanahan guy. They had been promoting from within for the last few years now. And so Wilks was kind of an outsider. They didn't communicate all that well. It was clear. So they're going to go a different route. What do you think about that as a 49ers fan?
I'm a bit 50-50, because, I mean, if you compare last year's defense to this year's defense, it only got better roster-wise, like player, like skill-wise, but then they performed significantly worse. They were expected to be a top 3 defense in the league this year, and they were just above average. They were not supposed to be an offensive powerhouse. Even I was watching our season opener show, and I watched my preseason predictions, and I said that the 49ers were going to be good because of their defense, which was not the case. But I don't know how much that goes into Steve Wilks. He clearly did much better on the sideline rather than when he was in the box. I have mixed emotions on this, because the guy did a pretty decent job. I think it has to be like a communication or an upper management type thing. It kind of seems slimy from a Shanahan perspective, which I don't like, because I've always kind of respected him for being like a straight shooter and kind of always being upfront about stuff. And I loved how he developed his staff, but going and saying, like, we're going to bring the whole staff back and then cutting them out just seems kind of off to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they really shut the Chiefs down through the first 9 possessions. The Chiefs had 13 points. That was good. I mean, the defense was playing really good. Fourth quarter, the Chiefs began to move the football. Overtime, they moved the football, but the 49ers defense played well enough to be Super Bowl champions. That was a championship effort that they put forth. They did not lose because of that defense. So anyway, Chiefs now have a chance to do something that never has been done before, 3 in a row. We've had 8 times. We've had back-to-back winners. Both the Broncos were a back-to-back winner, although John Elway retired right afterwards. So their quest for 3 was derailed by who was it? Bubby Brister, I think, might have been the quarterback. I don't know. It was
Greasy.
Oh, that's right, Brian Greasy. Yeah, well, yeah. He didn't turn out to be as good as his dad.
No.
The 49ers won 2 in a row as well. They did not make it to 3. So we'll see. It's obviously it's tough to win 1. It's super tough to win 3. We will see. It was a great game. Both teams deserved to be there. I think it was pretty obvious. I was watching social media during the game, and a bunch of Ravens fans. We were better than both these teams. Well, then you should have won your championship game, so you could have been in the Super Bowl. That's how it works. You don't win the game before the Super Bowl. You don't get to go to the Super Bowl. But by the end of the game, though, I think we can say that we saw the two best teams, and it was a classic Super Bowl. We made some bets. We gave you some props to pick, and let's go ahead and review how we did on those particular props, as well as then how we stood for the entire postseason. Tommy, let's go ahead and start with you. Your 49ers props here. I liked a lot of them, but unfortunately, not one of those actually paid off. That's 3 losses on your 49ers team.
This was my low point. We get better after this. We do.
It's a mixed bag. Well, but here we go. Yeah. So for the Chiefs, hey, right there we can see that first bet, that's a winner, but the next two were not. You got in the win column. The Chiefs did not score first. Obviously, they did not. They were not the first to get a sack, and the touchdowns were at a premium. So that last one there also was a loser. Your 49er individual picks, again, they looked really good before the game, but they were all 3 losses. I think Travaris Ward is where you lost in the tackles.
Yeah, it made me upset.
Lenore and Warner both got theirs, but Ward did not. Purdy's rushing yards were short of 12.5. And obviously Deebo Samuel did not get in the touchdown. He had an opportunity, but did not get a touchdown there. CMC, of course, did score, as we all knew he would. Your Chiefs player props. Again, I liked especially that plus 1,200. I liked the Pacheco and Watson, but that didn't happen. Patrick Mahomes, however, did score for you. And the MVS and Pacheco receiving yards, you did win that one at plus 242. So that was your biggest win of the night. And then on your exotic props, the longest field, we ended up having like the NFL record for field goals was made 3 times in the game for the Super Bowl. So that was a lot of longest field goals there. Rushing yards we did not set a record. So Timmy Smith of the Washington Redskins still has the Super Bowl rushing record. And there were, however, more field goals than passing touchdowns. So you ended the night with a win there. But overall, not a huge. We'll get to the tallies here after we go through everybody. So Ben, you had most trips to the red zone for the 49ers. These are all 49ers team props here, and under 23.5 points. Yes, they came in at 22 points. Well done. So you got a win there. First drive result, however, was no points for them. That was, in fact, I believe that was the CMC fumble.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Drive, which you don't see very often. You see that about once a season. So
what were the odds for that?
Yeah, exactly.
Insane.
Chiefs team props. They did not get the most sacks, but they went well over the total field goal yards, since you had 4 field goals from Harrison Butker, including a 57-yarder. And Kansas City did win from behind, as they seem to do every single game. That has become the new Josh Allen throws a pick bet, where you're going to get it. So well done there. All right, 49er player props. Brock Purdy did not throw an interception at all. Good for him. So you did not win that one. McCaffrey had a great game, both rushing and receiving. Did not get in the end zone a second time, however. Chiefs player props. Patrick Mahomes' first rush was like 4 yards or so, so he did not get the over on that. You did not get touchdowns out of Kelsey or Pacheco. As we all would have guessed, the Chiefs' touchdowns were to MVS and Mecole Hardman. That's exactly how we all would have predicted it before the game. And then Harrison Butker, only the 2 PATs, didn't even get a 2. They didn't attempt the second one after the touchdown in the overtime. So he just had the 1 PAT to go along with his 4 field goals. And your exotic props, the blocked PAT, unfortunately, does count as a missed PAT. Gatorade bath was purple, and the highest scoring quarter was not the second quarter, as we explained at the time why it made sense. Just did not work out. All right, and so for my props, team props here, well, I had a better day than you guys did. Shortest TD was over 1.5 yards. 49ers were right there at 22 points, so they got into that scoring zone. They won 2 of the 5 quarters, so they did not go under, so I lost that bet. Chiefs team props, they did not win by 7 to 12 points. They really did not get to Purdy at all. A bad day rushing the passer, at least getting sacks. They were able to put some pressure on him as Chris Jones was able to get some pressure in some really key moments. The Chiefs did run the ball, I think 28 or 29 times, so they eclipsed the over on rushing attempts. Player props for the 49ers, CMC. Again, he had a big game all around. He got that one, but I failed on the other ones. Man, when they were throwing the pass, when they did a little throwback pass, if only CMC had been the guy throwing that ball. But he was on the receiving end, but that does not count.
Yeah, if the Niners won, Juwan Jennings was easily the Super Bowl MVP. I'm not gonna lie.
He was a stud. Up until the fourth quarter, I was really having a hard time picking potential MVPs. Probably if it hadn't been for Mahomes, if the Chiefs had not fallen behind and they didn't need the Mahomes drive in the fourth quarter and then the overtime drive, probably Trent McDuffie would have been the MVP. Would be my guess. But they didn't have the splat. He didn't have a pick. He didn't have a sack. He just blanketed Debo the entire game. I mean, he was great. Okay, so here for the Chiefs player props, I did hit on the Travis and Mahomes on his. He ended up leading the Chiefs with 66 rushing yards to go along with his 2 passing touchdowns. I was having a hard time finding the longest yak stat. I believe, however, it was either Travis Kelce or CMC. It was not Rashee Rice. And then my exotic props. Usher sadly did not sing a Taylor Swift song. I didn't personally see any Elvis costumes being shown on the broadcast, which really was disappointing. And then Gronk goes wide right. Damn it, Gronk. Yeah. So he missed the field goal, as we all knew he would, but he did not go wide left. So I failed on that one. So that takes us to our overall. So Tommy, you lost $52 on your Super Bowl props, but you still ended up profiting for the postseason. So we consider that a win. That's money. That's positive coin. Ben also had a tough Super Bowl on props, but still finishes $369 ahead on his postseason props. I had a good Super Bowl, and I ended up crossing the $1,000 threshold in the postseason.
You had a wonderful playoffs, man. That was impressive.
Yeah, Although when we had our little team picks, you did ended up winning that because you had the Chiefs, and of course they took it all the way. But we all made money, and that is the goal every time we bet. So that is our Super Bowl recap. Not much more to talk about. You probably heard a lot about it if you're watching this show. You have already talked about the Super Bowl a lot over the last 2 weeks. So we're going to go ahead and look ahead to the 2024 offseason, which has already begun. Right now, players can be franchise tagged. Starting on Monday, the prospects will gather in Indianapolis for the scouting combine. I believe starts on Tuesday, that there'll be actual, skills going on. And that will run through March 4th. Guys, from 27th to 4th is the scouting combine. March 5th, the end of the franchise tag period. Everybody will have it. If you're going to get a tag, it'll happen by 4 p.m. Eastern time on March 5th. And then on March 13th, the brand new season starts. Free agency kicks off 4 p.m. Eastern on the 13th. People can begin to sign contracts. And let's talk about some of these guys who are available. Starting at quarterback. Now, there are 2 who are actual free agents, but there's a chance that we're going to see some more and some probabilities that we're going to see some more. Right now, we know that Kirk Cousins is a free agent, and we know that Baker Mayfield is a free agent. And we believe that Russell Wilson is going to be available. We're not quite sure exactly the route Denver is going to take to make that happen. And it sounds like Justin Fields may be available. Reports out of Chicago are that the Bears have begun listening to offers and are actively shopping him. So, Ben, I want to start with you. I was reading today about the possibilities of Kirk Cousins becoming the next Broncos quarterback, how he steps right in. There's no bringing up a rookie to, whoever you would get at the 12th spot. Let's say it's a Penix or a Jalen Daniels. Instead of having to work with a rookie, you got a 35-year-old veteran who always throws for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns in a season. What do you think about that? Would you like to see Kirk Cousins as a Denver Bronco?
I think I speak for all of Broncos country when I say bring in another vet. Sure, like what could possibly go? No. What the hell? Okay, what are these owners thinking? I thought this was going to be the new era, okay? And I understand they're just like, hey, we're going to let Sean do his thing, and Sean's going to bring in wins. Sean doesn't excite the fan base. Sean actually pisses the fan base off a lot. Like, it's incredible. And we all sit there to ourselves and go, well, at least he can win. At the end of the day, you got to have a reason to be excited for the team. And there are very few reasons to be excited. I don't think that Kirk Cousins is going to be that stick of dynamite that is going to really excite Broncos country. He may like it. We do not. Okay, and I think even if it probably is in the long term the smarter move to bring in Kirk, I think that the just everyone is just so disillusioned with this team right now. I don't know anyone who is a Broncos fan that is proud and or happy to be a Broncos fan right now. And even though it is a major gamble, the rookie quarterbacks are exciting. They are an exciting thing to bring into the building because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And for, I guess, lack of a better reason, I'm going to say you probably go with the younger dude. And also just because I like Kirk Cousins. He's cool enough. I watched QB. It was a good show.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the guy I want to follow into battle when you're facing freaking Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert, for 4 of your 17 games. And who knows who the Raiders are going to go get, right? You really want to have Kirk Cousins there? I don't even know if anyone in the locker room has extra chains to lend him. I don't know if he'll be cool in Denver. So I'm going to go with take a young guy. Personally, I kind of like Bo Nix. I like that direction. I think that he very much leans into Bronco identity. But
I'm
yeah.
looking at a mock draft. So this is on tankathon.com, which is a good website.
Who do they got us with?
JJ McCarthy.
I seen that too. And you know what? I rather have Kirk Cousins than JJ McCarthy. I really would. JJ McCarthy threw what? 18 completions in the national championship or something?
Come on.
JJ McCarthy, listen. No, this is a Drew Lock waiting to happen. Do not commit JJ. No. Stop it. No.
I think that if we're going to talk about Drew Locks, we got to talk about Drake May. All right, that dude is not set up for success in this league.
Drake May's going top 2. He's
going to be a top 2 bust.
No one's learned from those. No one learns about these UNC quarterbacks. What are we talking about?
Every UNC, it's going to be Mitch Trubisky again, except like the back end of his career, not like the 1 year he was decent. All right,
he was a Pro Bowler. Yeah, they won 12 games.
Give
JJ his respect, all right? He was in a very run-heavy offense with one of the best running backs in football and one of the best running offensive lines in football. When he was told
and he
to
had
throw
the coach
the ball,
of the year, Matt Nagy.
He did a very good job. Yes, and when he was asked to throw the ball, he threw it very efficiently. He was
I,
very
I
efficient,
and I'm not
very
trying to
efficient throwing.
rob him from that. Okay, I'm not trying to rob him from that. What I will say though is there is a reason it was a run heavy offense. There is a reason why you find ways to not necessarily put the game into his hands every single time. Like there is a reason for that, because if you did have the sharpshooter back there, you would be like Washington. Like at the end of the day, you would let him air the ball out. And I'm not going to say that he looks horrible, but he doesn't show enough at the college level for me to go, hey, as a Broncos fan who's hoping to break into the playoffs in the next 3 years, I don't want him in charge of that offense. I think I will root for his success. I do think that, like I'm not actively out here trying to hope that he just, bums it, but like he's not the dude that I would feel comfortable with having there. He would do well in like Buffalo. Have some time to sit there and learn what not to do and what to do, and then take over for Josh Allen when fans finally realize the truth.
Okay, but honestly, this is what I really think the Broncos should do from a free agency standpoint. I don't think they should go out and get a big, like, crazy quarterback signing, go make a trade. They already we know what happened last time when they tried to get Russ. He was the 4,000 yards, 30 touchdown guy that we're talking about Kirk, except Kirk has 5 years on him, right? Uh, I think this is what I think they should do.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Obviously draft, but sign Gardner Minshew.
Okay, that's way better than what I thought you were gonna say. That's way better than Fields. Okay, we
Oh
can work with this.
no,
We can work with
absolutely
this.
not.
We
I'm
can work
I'm
with this.
like
I already
I'm
root for
like
Minshew.
I'm like a low key like there's part of me that wants to be a Justin Fields hater, but I try not to be a hater for any football player. But like there's really a part of me that just like wants to hate him. But like I can't. I can't. I loved him in college. But Gardner Minshew would be a perfect way to like compete in training camp, get a guy to like kind of learn like how to play quarterback in the NFL. I think he would be a great like short-term starter for a team, especially in a Broncos style offense where like you saw like Russell Wilson was very much a short yardage passer. I mean, they were what like bottom bottom half of the league in air yards per attempt, if I'm correct. And I mean, Gardner played in an RPO style offense, but he wasn't afraid to gun it. He's gonna have like some of those like if Sutton sticks around, which I doubt he's gonna stick around, but hopefully he sticks around. Then Gardner is gonna be the perfect guy to like send one downfield every once in a while and take a shot. I think Gardner would actually work really well in this Sean Payton offense while they try and develop somebody underneath him.
That would be. It would be fun if we drafted Bo Nix and got Gardner. Because can you imagine that quarterback room, dude? We'd be sponsored by Zen Packs. Are you kidding me? That would be awesome.
You don't like Jacoby Brissett? You'd rather go with Gardner over Brissett?
Yeah, I
'Cause
just think
he's a free agent as well.
Yeah, I just think youth and like potential, like Gardner, Jacoby is we like I don't think Jacoby Brissett is gonna get any better.
I don't think Gardner Minshew is going to get any better either. He's been around
I,
for
I
five,
beg to
6
differ. I
years.
really think
You think
Gardner
he's going to get better?
I think
He's the
in
same
the right
quarterback now that
circumstances he could get better. I do.
I don't know that
I think he
Denver's
has
the
the
right
potential.
circumstance.
Jacoby Brissett is just like he's very methodical, but he's very much like your stereotypical safe, very good backup quarterback. He's gonna make the right throws. Like obviously, like he took a shot or two when he got in the game this year, but a
Yeah.
stereotypical Jacoby Brissett game. He's a dink and dunk kind of guy. Gardner Minshew has a little bit of guts on him. He's gonna make something happen. Like I trust in late game scenarios when things go wrong for Gardner to bring them back rather than Jacoby.
All right. Well, let's move on to another free agent quarterback, and that's Baker Mayfield. So he played for $6 million last year, and let me see what they're estimating. He's played himself into a value 4 years, $65 million. So gone from 6 million to 16 million per season. Still pretty. I mean, that's a pretty affordable quarterback for a guy who just went to the playoffs. Now he went to the playoffs in the NFC South, which is not exactly the hardest division in the world to win. But the Bucks, likely to sign him, but he's available. Anybody else could go out and grab him if they want to. Is there a team out there other than Tampa Bay that would be interested in getting him? I mean, is there another team where Baker comes in and actually makes them a playoff team?
There's teams that want Baker Mayfield, but he's staying in Tampa.
Staying in Tampa.
Like he has to stay in Tampa. Everything is right for him in Tampa. Like
Yeah.
all of the weapons they have, even if Mike Evans got up and left, they still have like incredible skill position players for his type of play. Like he's the perfect gunner for this offense. I can't see him anywhere else. If he decided to go anywhere else, which I don't think he will, I think he knows what he's got in Tampa. If he decided to go anywhere else, it would be a very, very poor decision. And I think it may hurt his career. Because the system they have in Tampa, the players they have around him in Tampa, and their play style is perfect. And Tampa's fan base is huge on him. The Tampa environment makes so much sense for him. I mean, when you think of Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their fan base, and you think of people in their stands, Baker Mayfield fits that. It's almost like Max Crosby and the Raiders. Like it just makes perfect sense in your head.
But Max Crosby is an all-pro player. Baker Mayfield is limited. I mean, I know. So then if you're the Bucs, do you commit yourself to 3 years of Baker Mayfield?
I genuinely think so.
Not 3.
I mean,
I don't think you can. I don't think you can do 3. I think you can sign a 2-year contract and feel comfortable with it. And I'm with Tommy. I think that there's like even Denver. I mean, probably has to be interested in Baker. But I think that if Baker, I don't see Baker playing anywhere else. Like even like the idea.
Go to New England?
No, please, no.
Oh,
Just
what?
Why not? Bill Belichick is gone. He's better than any of the quarterbacks that they have.
Has nothing to do with him being better.
So the Patriots draft a QB at 3. You bring in Mayfield so your rookie doesn't have to start right away. Because the last time your future's not Mac Jones. Your future's not.
Who's he going to throw to? Pharaoh Brown?
Well, I'm not saying that it's a great situation for him, but I'm saying the Patriots it would be an upgrade for the Patriots to grab Baker and he is your quarterback while your rookie gets up to speed.
Of course, that would be the wonderful decision for the Patriots.
I think that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He won't do that.
Well, yeah. That's
there
what
are
I'm
other
saying.
teams out there who are going to try to get him.
For sure.
Well, and I think that they should, right? Like they would be doing a bad job if they didn't inquire about it. But I think that even just thinking of him playing in Cleveland, like just because he had the orange helmet on for so long, it feels wrong to me. Like I see him as I think that he plays better in the warm weather, like in warm weather areas. Like I think that just the idea of him playing in cold, dreary New England, like I just can't see that. Like that's I think part of it for me is like
what I would like to see. I would love to see a Pittsburgh Steeler Baker Mayfield gets to play the Browns twice a year.
Oh, that would be awesome, actually. Now that you said that out loud, I'm actually, I would love that. I would, I would genuinely love that. He should stay in Tampa. If he knows what's good for him, he should stay in Tampa.
He should stay in Tampa.
But I would love that. That would be amazing.
All right, so then Russell Wilson. Where is Russell Wilson next year?
Hopefully in a house with fewer bathrooms and less expectations. Am I right?
His house is for sale now. It's for sale. If you guys are
interested. God, you'd have to.
I don't know how much they require down. I think a couple $100, and I think that's all you got to put down.
I think they're giving it away.
Finance the rest, right?
They're giving it away. I think he's probably out of the league. I don't.
You think?
What?
For a season, maybe. I don't think for long. I don't. Not long term, but I don't know. And it's still up in the air of how the Broncos are going to go about this move. But he is going, I imagine, to have enough money to not have to play on a shit team, and then he can take the Flacco route. This This is an injury-prone league. There are going to be good teams that find themselves needing a good quarterback or at least a serviceable quarterback. And if you are of that caliber and you are getting older, why go through a season with a team that you know is a bad team? You might have that dog in you or whatever, but I think that it's probably smarter for him to just kind of chill out for a little bit and see
What's
how
the
All
it
right. So,
goes.
potential of a sign and trade here,
uh,
just for
I
job
mean,
security?
he's already under contract. They'd have to trade. I mean, there's no sign and
Oh
trade, just
yeah,
a
I forgot
trade.
that he's still
Yeah,
under for
he's
like
not a
how many
free agent
years?
yet. I mean, for like the next 3 or 4 years,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
big
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
contract.
nobody wants that.
So, so DraftKings is taking odds on where Russell Wilson will take his first snap next year, and the Steelers are paying minus 225.
That's insane.
They are DraftKings is convinced it's going to be Pittsburgh. Next in line is the Raiders at plus 550, and then the Falcons at plus
That's a good
600.
pick. I
It'd be such a Raiders move to
I
pick
could
up
see him in
Russ.
the Raider.
I could
Because
see him.
the,
I could see him doing it.
the only reason I can see him in a Raiders jersey, I would not be able to see him in a Raiders jersey if Jimmy G didn't sign last year. Like those guys
Well,
are so
poor
similar
Jimmy's
in
now.
vibe.
Jimmy is on a suspension for all of
Yeah.
his for his
Yeah, and he's gonna be
PED use.
gone. Like I could. It's just like when you. I don't know if you guys saw like the video of the player signing for Jimmy, but he just gives the same vibe as Russ. So that's the only reason why I think he could actually like
Oh,
go to the
that's
Raiders.
that's cruel, dude. That's cruel.
Like the way they just carry themselves is just like I don't
Yeah,
know. It's like Russ is almost like a more like baby face, like less handsome version.
Yeah. I
all right.
yeah. I'm just.
Um,
It's gonna be a mess.
so let's move on to some running backs because there are some pretty good running backs that are out there on the market right now.
Oh yeah.
Saquon Barkley, the Giants have said they're not going to tag him again. So he didn't obviously have a good year this year, but he was fantastic last year. And all of the Giants sucked this year. So, I don't know that Barkley was a cause so much as just a victim of how bad they were. You've got Josh Jacobs, only a year removed from leading the NFL in rushing, also a free agent. Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Tony Pollard. Um, any of those guys you want to go out and sign? If you're an NFL GM right now, which of those guys is the most valuable to you?
Depending on the price, I like Saquon.
I mean,
I
he's only
like
26.
I like Saquon a lot. I don't know if the money's gonna be there, but him and Dallas I think would be fun. Uh, I think that it would be mutually beneficial.
Yeah,
Uh, and I mean, you're staying close enough that you get to see the Giants a couple times a year. That's always, a little added
yeah.
motivation there. Um, I think that if he's looking to join uh, an, a competitor, I think Dallas would be a great landing spot for him. Um, but yeah, off the dome, like if I was a GM, I'd probably target Saquon. I just like his mentality.
Well,
He runs with meanness.
DraftKings has the Giants as the favorite. Behind the Giants, the Houston Texans.
Oh, that would be
Houston
fun.
Texans at plus 225 to be Saquon's next team. The Chargers are the third betting favorite. They are plus 400.
Let's not
That
go there.
sounds wonderful, but for some odd reason, I have this feeling that the Texans are going to go after Josh Jacobs.
Well, they've got a
That would be
ton of.
fun.
I I would go with Barkley myself just because of his receiving ability. I mean, he
Agreed.
even though he had a bad game or a bad season last year, he still caught 55 balls. I mean, he's a great back out of the backfield, and I feel like with C.J. Stroud and Tank Dell comes back healthy, Nico Collins. We'll get to the wide receivers, but there's talk that the Texans are also interested in Michael Pittman. And again, the Texans are a division champion. I don't know. I would love to see that. I think that'd be a lot of fun to see with Saquon. But Jacobs, I mean, obviously he's still a young guy. He's gone over 1,000 yards every year but one. Led the NFL in rushing last year. had a bad year this year, but again, the quarterback situation in Vegas was so up and down. It's hard to hold, it against anybody for having a bad year in that offense. And I mean, although he is getting some mileage on his tires. He's a 300 touch guy every year now. So, but and Derrick Henry, you guys interested in Derrick Henry at all? Not really.
It's like old AP. You know what I mean? Like I don't
That's rude.
I
take
mean,
away.
he was second in the NFL in rushing this year.
I'm not taking away. I'm not taking away the fact that it's Derrick Henry and that like MJ on the Wizards could still gash you every now and then, right? But like
He's
you,
only 30, dude.
God, is he?
Yes, he's
Is
just
he?
like he
Yes.
just runs like he's 40.
Yeah.
Like
Dude, but he's got the miles on him too, though. You know what I mean?
He's
Because those were hard fought seasons and yards earned. Like the whole Titans offense, the whole Titans team was on his shoulders for so long that rap, adds a little bit, I think, to the aging process in my mind. I think that he's still awesome, but I feel like the name is going to drive the price more than what you may get out of him. But I also think that he would benefit from somewhere where he doesn't have the whole workload. You know what I mean?
well,
Where,
the
yeah.
Baltimore Ravens are the favorite to land him.
And
Where
that's
he
awesome.
obviously, yeah,
And I would
where
watch
he's
that.
got you've got Gus Edwards, and you've got like what, three other different running backs. You've got Lamar, so he's Whereas in Tennessee, he was the star. He goes to Baltimore, he's just a complimentary player, and it makes a big difference for him. He doesn't have to carry the ball 300 times. He can carry the ball half
yeah.
that.
Like, and then in Tennessee, like, their offensive line was never very good. I mean, he had 2,000 rushing yards, and not a single one of his offensive linemen were Pro Bowlers. Like, like he has been freelancing. Like he's been doing like everything. Imagine if he had good blockers and open gaps, and he wasn't bouncing every inside zone. Because most of his big runs, like that you see on his highlight reels, are a stiff arm on the outside because he bounced an inside zone or a trap down the middle. And imagine if you could actually get Derrick Henry on a full head of steam down the A gap with good blocking. Like every linebacker is going to fear for their life and their career and being on his highlight reel.
Yep.
It's like that. Seeing him on the Ravens, especially with how well they performed as an offensive line, especially in the run game last year, if he signed with the Ravens, and with the added fact that they're not going to be able to pack the box because Lamar Jackson has the best legs out of any quarterback in football, he is going to, I swear, he would be on pace to have another like 1,800-yard season if he went to Baltimore.
Well, that is the favorites. The second betting favorite there are the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody else is less than plus 1,000. So
Derrick Henry in Dallas doesn't make any sense to me.
He
no,
just has
I
to
want
go
to see him
to
in Baltimore. Put him in
he just,
Baltimore. I think that would be fun.
he just has to go to a team that isn't going to think that they're gonna he's not gonna be Tennessee Titan, Derrick Henry, and I think like that just has to be the expectations that you're not gonna be able to put, the 21 other dudes on his back and expect it to work out. So yeah, like if I was a GM, I would still love to have Derrick Henry on my team, but if off that list of like running backs I feel like I could build around, I just feel like it's asking too much from him, to
Yeah.
do it again.
Yeah. Okay. So wide receivers. T. Higgins is officially going to be a free agent, although most people expect that he'll be tagged by the Bengals. So we won't want to spend a lot of time talking about T. Higgins. Mike Evans, though, Tommy, we already know you touched on Evans a little bit earlier. The dude, 10 times gone over 1,000 yards in 10 seasons. Nobody has ever done that before. If one more 1,000-yard season, and he ties Jerry Rice for the longest stretch at any point in a career. This dude is one of the most underrated wide receivers in NFL history. He is always good. He's just always good. He's always consistent. And for whatever reason, we don't talk about him in the same category as Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. And it's just because he just does it. We just know that's what he's going to do. We know how good he's going to be, and because he's that way every single year. So the Bucks are the betting favorite to land him, but the Texans and the Chiefs are both pretty short odds as well. We know the Chiefs want a wide receiver. They need a wide receiver. Mike Evans already has one ring. Maybe he wants to go chase another ring. Texans obviously would fit in nicely there as well. Although Michael Pittman, again, the Indianapolis Colt player, who's again a huge guy, 6'4", 225 pounds, would go nicely in Houston as well. Right there between Tank Dell and Nico Collins. Those are the two best free agent wide receivers out there. Calvin Ridley is a free agent. He had to step back this year, but partly maybe it just was rust from not playing the year before because of his suspension. Hollywood Brown is probably the next best, but so really, if you want an impact guy, I think Pittman or Evans are your choices. Who are you going with? Obviously, Pittman, younger than Evans, but Evans going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, my thought process on Mike Evans is that if I was to give him like a comparison to any other athlete, he is like the Tim Duncan of the NFL. Very reliable, very consistent, underrated, but first ballot. This guy is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And then Tim Duncan is the best power forward of all time, but he misses out on like every top 10 list. That's how I think of Mike Evans. This dude is insane. Even PFF has Michael Pittman rated as a better free agent than Mike Evans, which doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
They have Michael Pittman at 11, Mike Evans at 13. Mike Evans is a top 5 free agent. It doesn't make any sense that he's up there. He could be 2 or 3. Like he could be up there with the best of them. But I just it's really hard for me to see Mike Evans in another jersey. I think that the Bucks are going to shell out to keep him at home. Michael Pittman, however, if I were another team signing, it really depends on my team dynamic. If I'm the Texans and I'm trying to build for the future, and obviously they're in win now and win in the future mode, because obviously they can win right now, but they have all these young pieces and rookie contracts that they can build for the future. I would go with Michael Pittman if I were the Texans, just because they already have a strong receiving core. With guys that just broke out, Tank Dell coming back, Nico Collins, those guys. Michael Pittman would be a very, very good addition to that. I think Mike Evans
it weakens one of your division rivals too.
Exactly. But I think anybody else, I'd go with Mike Evans. I think the Texans are really a unique scenario here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they are a team that's got a rookie quarterback, a rookie contract for a quarterback that they don't have to pay him for 3 more years. So they've got a nice big window where they can spend elsewhere, and they don't have to worry about how much they're going to pay CJ Stroud for a bit. So that's nice. It's a great position to be in.
Well,
yeah, until he demands $200 million over 5 years.
Well, and Kyle, like, what are you thinking? I mean, as a Chiefs fan, I mean, like, because I look at this field and I go, wait, these are a little too big of names for the Chiefs. So I expect them to go get like Gabe Davis. You go spend on the defense.
Kansas City.
And you gotta go spend on the defense.
I wouldn't hate Gabe Davis as long as they then spent on an upgrade at tackle. If they put their money in Tyron Smith of the Cowboys, right? He's a free agent. If they spent their money there, then I would be fine with a Gabe Davis because they then, because they still obviously have their own free agents. They've got Chris Jones and L'Jarius Sneed to worry about. But if they go after a Mike Evans, I'm not sad. Evans, because it's probably Travis Kelce's last year. Bring in Mike Evans, go for that, go all in on the three-peat. You can worry about 2025 later, go all in, try to get that third in a row. Mahomes was already talking about it before they even had been awarded the one in Vegas. So if you're going to go big, go for Evans. Otherwise, I'm fine with a Gabe Davis. It gives you some depth. He's going to be better. You dump MVS Gabe Davis comes in and takes that spot financially too, because they're going to get paid around the same. And Davis is young. Davis doesn't have the drops like MVS does. And Davis has had huge games at Arrowhead Stadium. He had that unreal game at Arrowhead Stadium in the divisional round. So, and I still feel like that there's a breakout there for Davis. It was supposed to happen this year, and obviously it didn't. But I do feel like that there's an 1,100 yard, 10 touchdown season in this guy at some point. And maybe he needs to leave Buffalo for that to happen. Maybe it's not Kansas City, maybe it's somewhere else. But I do think that Gabe Davis is a good second tier wide receiver. He's not the wide receiver one that the Chiefs need. Maybe Rashee Rice develops into that wide receiver one, and then you can have Davis as a good number 2 or a 3. Although if I heard that when first day of the league year comes and the Chiefs assign Mike Evans, I will be celebrating because I do like Mike Evans a lot.
I think a really good direction for Kansas City to go if they really want to fill out that tackle position too. I think a cheaper option that could also like pair with a Mike Evans signing is Mekhi Becton, because he has been pretty injury prone, so his contract is not going to be as high.
Yeah.
Because there is a little bit of nervousness, but this last year he was incredible in pass protection, and that is
Well,
what
he
your
had more.
biggest concern is.
Yeah, and he had more snaps this year than he did in all the other years combined. So
Exactly.
maybe he's finally getting healthier. I mean, he's still, if you're a Jets fan, he's a disappointment because he was the 11th overall pick. But if you don't hold his draft position against him, maybe there is a future still for him as a good tackle in the NFL. I hope so, because I hate to see young guy get, have that kind of injury history early in his career and then have it completely derailed. It's not,
you know how many offensive linemen start off their career slow and just take a change of scenery and become incredible? I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many different and it's also MetLife. You're playing for the Jets. Like it's not a recipe for success, is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of reasons why he probably ended up in those positions. You put him in a position like Kansas City, a winning environment. He can get a break, maybe. I mean, they're not gonna he's gonna not be in pass pro for 5 seconds every pass play because Patrick Mahomes is gonna get the ball out. I think that he would very much benefit from. I think this is like the perfect signing for the Chiefs. Is like because Mekhi Becton is gonna be cheaper than a lot of the tackles in free agency, despite his youth, and you can put him on a long term if you wanted to, or short term, short money deal. Mike Evans, maybe throw a player option in there, and then boom, you have an incredible you just upgraded your offense tenfold, and there's no reason why you shouldn't win another Super Bowl. You might go 15-2.
Well, and I mean, the Chiefs have a great offensive line coach in Andy Heck. You get a good coaching on this. I mean, the physical, the athleticism of Becton, his size, it's all there. Blocking for Zach Wilson. It's hard to look good when you're blocking for Zach Wilson. Blocking for Patrick Mahomes probably makes you look a little better. I don't know. Okay, so defense. Chris Jones, the best available defensive free agent. Josh Allen of the Jaguars, also right up there in terms of a pass rusher. Brian Burns is available as well. Another good pass rusher. Chase Young, a potentially good pass rusher. There's some good outside. Daniel Hunter is also available.
There's some really good defensive free agents this year. If you bought an entire defense through free agency this year, you'd be one of the best defenses in the league. It's kind of insane. We're forgetting Levante David in there too, Patrick Queen. This is a crazy defensive.
The defensive backfield, you got Jalen Johnson, L'Jarius Sneed, Kendall Fuller.
Good God, Jalen
Sean
Johnson
Murphy-Bunting.
too.
But yeah, I mean, in the defensive tackles, you got Christian Wilkins, Justin Matabike. Some really, really good. I
They
mean,
got Kenny Moore and Jadeveon Clowney, who had an incredible year this year, came back and
yeah,
actually made something happen, which is very nice to see. Zadarius Smith, completely forgot about that guy. Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
DJ Reader.
Wow,
I mean,
this is actually kind of crazy.
there's
Xavier
some
McKinney
really
too. I noticed that one earlier. Xavier McKinney is something else.
Devin White. I mean, there's
Yeah,
some
this is
really. I
like
mean,
unbelievable.
Devin White's 25. I mean, yeah, there's some really
Yeah,
good
Devin White.
defensive.
Devin White needs a little bit of a, talking to, but
Yeah,
he is he didn't he like lead the team in tackles last year, but he also like gave up every big play like the team
yeah.
had. That dude is the most like undisciplined football guy that I've ever seen. Like he just wants to go. He's gonna lay out his life to make a play, but 50% of the time he's going to mess up, and it's so funny.
Anybody going to put any money out for Stephon Gilmore? Or is he? I mean,
He's
he's a free
old, but
agent.
he's an oldie but a goodie, man. He's still good.
Yeah.
He's still got
Dude,
it.
still he's a smart football player. Knows what he's
He
doing out there.
he's one of those dudes like Champ Bailey where like you see like the physical side start to, fall off, but the brain, he just it makes up
Yeah.
for it. All the experience, he just keeps learning. He's an expert out there. Yeah, I think that he's definitely gonna gain some attention here.
Can we have a Niners Richard Sherman type deal here where he loses the physicals, but he goes to the Niners and plays out of his mind?
That would be fun.
I think this is a really underrated free agency signing right here for defenses is Geno Stone.
Yeah, the
Geno,
safety for the Ravens. Yeah.
yeah, that guy he was incredible this year. He was locked down. I think he's one of the more underrated defensive backs in the league. The guy was incredible in coverage. I mean, you put him in man, you put him in zone. He's like one of the most versatile safeties in the league. I think he is going to be incredible wherever he goes. Oh yeah, what is this? 7 interceptions at the safety
Seven
position.
picks. Yeah, I
For
just
Geno
saw that
Stone?
too. Yeah, he
Yeah,
had 7 picks.
Nice.
That's insane.
Wow. Well, and he's young too, isn't he?
very.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's only gonna get better.
It was his first full season as a starter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we have not seen the best of him, and he's getting 7 picks. Josh
Yeah. No, I
Allen
mean,
for the
if
Jags.
you need
Oof.
defense right now, there are plenty of good options out there. Less
With the
so
best
for
clearly being like Josh Allen up there at the top with Chris
Chris
Jones.
Jones.
yeah. Those are two guys who can change a game. At any given time, for sure. I don't think the Chiefs are going to tag Jones. I think they'll tag Snead instead, or they won't use their tag. They're not going to tag Chris Jones. Well, because the tag is $32 million for Chris Jones if they tag him. There's no way that they're going to commit $32 million to him. And I think his value in Kansas City is a little higher than other teams. And I think that the Chiefs are counting on that a little bit, that they can save some money and just sign him as a free agent. I think they want to sign him. I think they're going to try to sign him. He makes it sound like he wants to stay in Kansas City. That's certainly what he was saying right after the Super Bowl. Now his agents are a couple of chuckleheads who I don't respect at all. I think they're douchebags. The way they sat there on either side of him that first game this year when he was sitting out, they just looked like couple of dorks, and I think that they gave him bad advice. Chris is a smart guy. Chris is his own man. I'm not going to suggest that he was being led around by these guys. He made his own decisions, but I don't think that he's getting any kind of good advice from those guys at all. If he leaves Kansas City, he's going to go somewhere and be a stud. Although I don't think Chris Jones has been playing for championships now for a lot of years in a row. He's only going to go to a team where he can also do that. He's not going to go and all of a sudden shore up the defense in Washington or do anything stupid like that. We'll see. It's going to be really interesting. There's a lot of big names on that defensive side, and there's going to be a lot of money that they're going to siphon away from teams. It would be really interesting to see how the bidding war goes for some of these guys. Some of the younger players too, like a Geno Stone, where you can get you're going to sign him to a 5-year deal, and he's still not going to be 30 before he finishes it. So yeah. Anybody that we missed? Anybody that you want to talk about? Any teams specifically?
I'm really curious what's going to happen at the bottom of the AFC East in free agency.
With
Because
the
I think
Jets?
Jets and Pats, because
Okay.
Lawrence Guy just got released. And he was one of the only bright spots on that defense. And Uche is in free agency. So that defensive line is looking rough, but I could really see them going after some old heads like Calais Campbell or Christian Wilkins in free agency. I think that the Miami defensive line would benefit very much re-signing Wilkins. I think that should absolutely happen. Calais Campbell, I could really see him putting on a Patriots jersey for some reason, but that might be my Bill Belichick bias still intact. Because if Bill Belichick was still in New England, he would absolutely be getting signed. But it's just like there's a lot of like kind of crazy things that are happening. Like this free agency is one of the most interesting in a while. Like Brian Burns, like that guy is going to be a hot.
He was the hot trade candidate back in 2022. Everybody wanted to trade for him. Now they can just go out and get him. They don't have to trade for him.
How many offers do you think that guy's? He's getting calls from everywhere for sure.
He's gonna get a $100 million contract. It's just a matter of who it's with.
I really want to know how this New England team with that new coaching staff is going to buff up their roster, because there's so much that needs to be done, and it's like they have to start spending some money because they have cap space, don't they?
They should.
I don't know, but
they
we can
absolutely should. If they don't, there's something really wrong in New England. Like if they're spending all their money on freaking Matthew Judon and those guys, like
let's find out.
They also have to do it quick because that's a fan base that they put the pressure on, and I think like that's also one of the interesting parts about free agency is not only are you balancing
that's so much
having
money.
have to build up a team, but you also have to find a way to keep those pesky fans interested and
yeah, for real,
bought into what you're selling. You know what I mean?
Do you know how many Patriots fans aren't going to go to games anymore because Belichick's not coaching?
Exactly.
Like being in New England.
Patriots have the 4th most cap space of anybody.
What does it say for your number? What are you on right now? What website?
I'm on PFF.
Okay. Yeah, I'm watching.
They've got 50. They've got 66 million.
Okay, this one that I'm on right now, I'm on like this thing. I don't even know what it is. Spot Rack.
Spot Rack's great. They're a great website.
It says they're second with 74.
Okay, this is from about a month ago. Oh, and this is from Over the Cap. The two best contract websites are Spot Track and Over the Cap. I prefer Spot Track.
So they've
got the market value. They're great. So yeah, the Patriots have a ton of cash.
Washington's number 1, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, but who wants to go there? Who wants to sign up?
Nobody.
Who wants to sign
Absolutely not a soul. Well, I feel like if they make one like really breakthrough signing, people are going to start like making waves to go to Washington. Like
who's going to be their quarterback though?
If they
or Commanders quarterback,
if the Commanders somehow if they somehow found a way to get like a Justin Fields, like then I think people would start making their way to Washington.
So let's say they trade for Justin Fields, then you use that number 2 pick to get Marvin Harrison,
yes,
as opposed to Drake May.
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine
Terry McLaurin and Marvin Harrison Jr. together.
Imagine.
But you've
Kyle
got
Garlett.
But then you've got Justin Fields throwing the ball though. So.
But it's gonna get people to sign. I'm not saying Justin Fields is gonna be on target. I just think people are gonna get excited by the idea of him throwing on target.
Yeah, maybe.
And then we get T. Higgins to sign. Like And then
You
they have like
got
the best receiver room in the NFL, and then he throws for like 3,300 yards and 16 interceptions.
you know that there's people in the city that I walk among them, and they truly believe that. Like you do understand, like this isn't a bit to some people. Some people really think that Justin Fields is gonna just turn it on. I don't really understand what they mean. I don't speak fluent Chicago, and I only understand it. But yeah, I don't understand any
Yeah.
of that nonsense.
No, I mean, every now and then Justin Fields will make an incredible play, but you know what? I made made an eagle playing golf. My handicap though is like 25 over. So every now and then you can
Oh
pull
my
out a great
goodness.
shot, but that doesn't make you good. And yeah, every now and then he makes a play that makes you go wow. But then there are four other times the same game where he makes a play you're going, Jesus, what the hell was that? I mean, he's not he's never going to win a Super Bowl as a starting quarterback. Maybe as a third string, but not as a starter. He's not going to win a Super Bowl. And everybody needs to come to terms with that. You are in one of two spots. You either have the quarterback who can win you a Super Bowl, and there are really only about 10 of those teams right now, or you're looking for that quarterback. That means that there are 22 teams who are still in search of that guy. Justin Fields, not one of those 10. Just not.
Kyle, to your point about the Eagle, all I'm going to say is Joakim Noah hit a 3-pointer in an organized basketball game in the playoffs during the bubble in 2020. So if Joakim Noah is hitting threes in the playoffs at like 35 years old, Justin Fields can throw a touchdown to Marvin Harrison. Like it's gonna
Not
happen. It's
he
gonna
can do
happen.
that. He's not going to do it consistently for 17 weeks.
There's no
Exactly. Joakim hit
you,
1-3.
you can't give Justin Fields those kinds of weapons either. He only knows how to look at one dude. Like I just
Yeah.
genuinely don't. Do you understand? Okay, last year he threw for about 2,500, a little over 2,500 yards. DJ Moore had a little over 1,300 yards. Like over half of the fucking receiving yards, half of the passing yards are to DJ Moore. Or you get, I get it. DJ Moore's great. All right, I'm not trying to, it's very impressive. Okay, but that's a terrifying statistic. That is
Yes. It is indeed.
It is
terrifying.
really crazy that is actually real. Especially because like he only missed a couple of games. Like Tyson Badgett did not contribute to those numbers at all. Like this is like almost all him.
Insane.
Well,
Like I mean, Darnell Mooney sucks though, so I'm not really. I'm
yeah.
understanding in that fact.
But
Yeah.
you have Cole Kmet even. I mean, you have other places to put the football. It's you know what I mean? Like that's. Can you imagine?
He's not
Can you
good. He's not a good
imagine
quarterback.
Harrison just
I'd like
having
him to
like
be good.
nothing because he doesn't look at it? Like, are
Oh
you
yeah,
kidding?
no.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison's gonna be wide open like towards the end zone for like every probably fifth route during a football game. And he's just going to be looking down the field at Justin Fields.
Don't get me wrong. I
They're
want
not
Chicago
playing
to mess
together.
this up.
They're not playing together.
Don't
They're
get
not
me
going to be
wrong.
on the
I
same
want
team.
Chicago to mess this up. That 30 for 30 would be hysterical. Okay, I'm not in the way of entertainment here, but good night, dude. Some of the fans out here, yeah, and they know who they are. They need to get a reality check. They need to get a grip.
All right. Well, I feel like that we have exhausted the free agent guys that are worth talking about right now. Of course, within the next month, they should start signing, and then we'll have lots of cool things to talk about. So just a reminder, NFL Scouting Combine next week. Make sure you watch that. It's going to be a look at all the guys who are going to be in the draft. Draft, of course, the end of April in Detroit this year. They're going to be in Green Bay, Wisconsin the year after that. We've got the NFL's new year starting on March 13th. That's when the free agents can begin to sign. The legal tampering period begins March 11th. They've got 2 days to legally tamper although I'm certain there's some illegal tampering going on right now. We are going to do a show when the free agency gets rolling because we want to cover all that. We are also going to do a draft preview because who doesn't love to bet on the NFL draft? If you're not betting on the NFL draft, you are not truly a degenerate, and you need to check yourself in the mirror. We are going to absolutely talk to you about the NFL draft and all of the bets that you should be placing.
Talking to you,
that.
Jerry. I know you're watching.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah. Why aren't you spending money on football that isn't even being played?
Your wife will not miss that. Take it to the pawn shop. You've got bets to make.
Exactly.
All right. And then, of course, right after the draft, we've got mini camps and then rookie camps and all the good camps. And then we've got training camp. And in fact, we are now less than 200 days away from the kickoff of the 2024 season. It's going to be here before you know it. It is fantastic. NFL is now 12-month-a-year sport. Everything is happening now in the offseason. We are going to be back here to cover it for you because all of it can be bet on.
And the UFL started. Yeah, let's go.
It starts in like March 20th or something like that?
Yeah, right? UFL spring football, baby. Let's go, Battlehawks, St. Louis. Yeah.
There's Battlehawks. So I know that they merged, right? It's the XFL and the USFL merging. I don't know which teams are still around. I'll figure that out before the season starts.
Oh, I know.
You gotta worry about.
You know, I know
about St. Louis.
If you want a fan base, I got you, Kyle. I got you.
Can you bet on this? Can you bet on the UFL?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I couldn't find any lines the other day. I was trying to figure out who's. They don't have any futures on who the champion is.
And you can start betting on lacrosse too now. I'm just letting you guys know they started putting it together for PLL.
Why don't I just bet on car sales at the local Ford dealership? What the hell?
You guys not? Yeah. Do you not? I'm sorry. What?
Roger's going to have 8 sales this week. I'm going to taking the over on that. I mean, come on.
I'm slamming the under, dude. Roger sucks.
Lacrosse. I'm
Boston just won the championship series, man. Let's go.
Actually, so right after the days of when COVID started and everything canceled, I was watching and betting on table tennis, like Russian table tennis. That's how bad it got.
So why are you against lacrosse? And
because there are other sports now. Because it's not.
Even when there were no other sports, lacrosse wasn't an option for him.
It's ridiculous, man.
Because
the championship series just happened, bro.
I just hit a big bet on William Byron at the Daytona 500. NASCAR started. We got baseball around the corner. We got March Madness coming up. We got the NCAA tournament. That's less than a month away.
Would you rather watch dudes running into each other at full speed with weapons or watching people turn left 500 times?
No, dude, they still run into each other at high speeds. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's bad, bro.
Every now and then they turn right. That's when the wreck starts.
Yeah, dude. It's awesome.
Dude, they're driving 195 miles an hour, 6 inches off the bumper in front of them. That is a sport.
Yeah, it's terrifying, dude.
I love you, Joey Logano.
When you guys had me watching that live stream, I was sitting there. I had Madden on in the background, but I had to pause the game because I was staring at it and I was just terrified. I'm like, dude, one misstep and there's death. Exactly. Like, that was terrifying, dude. Like, that was so... How do you guys watch with all that pressure?
And it happens every single weekend for the next, 8 months. It's fantastic.
And you can bet on it, and maybe we'll tell you what to bet on when it comes to NASCAR.
Yeah. Hey, when my birthday
we just like gambling, right?
Yeah. All right, well, so that wraps it up for us. Definitely bet on the what is it, the All Matter Health 400 in Atlanta this weekend, or whatever it's called.
We're going to Atlanta.
Yeah, we're going to be in Atlanta this weekend. It's another super speedway, so we're going to have some more 3-wide racing and some Grecs. Beautiful stuff. All right. So, hey, we take you out with a little moment of football zen. Obviously, I had a lot of fun on Super Bowl Sunday watching the Super Bowl. Chiefs had a lot of fun. Chiefs fans had a lot of fun. But the one single person who had the most fun of all during the postseason, Jason Kelce. I've put together a little highlight reel of Jason Kelce's postseason. We're not sure yet if he is officially going to retire. We think so. He's certainly loving himself some self right now. He's already talked to ESPN and Fox about working for them as a broadcaster. I want to see Jason Kelce every week go out and do the tailgate circuit. Then he goes off and plays like fun little like games with other football players, does just bizarre stuff. I don't want him in a booth. Don't have him do an analyst. I want him to do just fun Jason Kelce. I'm shotgunning beers with this, 97-year-old season ticket holder that's been going to Packers games since the 1930s. That's what I want to see from Jason Kelce. So anyway, we are going to take you out for the evening with the best of Jason Kelce's postseason. Until we meet again, which will happen during this free agency period. On behalf of Tommy Burch, he is in Massachusetts. Ben O'Connell, he is in Illinois. And I am Kyle Garlett in Colorado. Until we see you again, happy betting.
Broncos country, let's go. That's the only slogan we've ever had. That's the only one.
I know. You're the best, Kelsey! We'll see how it goes. Let's do it, dude. Fuck, I love you. Oh, man, that was electric, dog. You're the best in the world. Don't take that lightly, you know what I mean? I know it wasn't easy. I know it's a hard year.
Well, what would a Super Bowl be without a Kelsey or multiple Kelseys? Overalls are working hard right now.
Found the mask on the dance floor.
Stop
the first
it.
after party spot.
Did you at least just give it a quick rinse under the sink?
No, where was I going to rinse it off, Travis?
In the bathroom, just.
You see a luchador mask, you don't ask questions. I for sure thought I was getting pink eye. There's